Now if you're a vegetarian, this is the ultimate dish. This is so nice, and it's called my cauliflower and fig bake. Now this will serve up quite a few servings for a lot of people. It's not expensive at all, but it's so easy to make, tastes delicious. And the other thing is, if you'd like to find out how to make these dishes with the right amounts, then you are always more than welcome to sign up to my plans, and you can have a look whether I show you the exact amounts of how to use this stuff. Okay, so I'm going to use, I've got cauliflower, so here you go, I've got a head of cauliflower there, quite a big one. I'm going to serve this up for about 10 people. I've got my mushrooms over here as well, I've got some double cream, I've got red onion, there you go. And then I've got some leek as well that I'll be sprinkling over the top at the end. And then I have figs, there you go, I've got some lovely figs, and they will be sliced in half. And then I've also got my garlic here on the side. I'm going to use basil and parsley as well for this recipe, and I'm going to put in some salt and also black pepper. But then the other thing that's going in is, of course, my mature cheddar cheese. I like to use a strong mature cheddar cheese, just gives it a lot more flavor. If I look at my recipe, yeah, that's everything that I've mentioned to you. This will taste amazing, so give it a go, eat this way and eat healthy. Now, because I'm making quite a big cauliflower dish, I'm using a really big frying pan or a wok, and this will help me a lot. So I'm going to take, you can see I've chopped up the cauliflower into big bits, not into small bits. I'm just going to throw it all in there. I've got some extra on the side, and again, this will serve up to 10 people, 10 adults, so it's quite a big dish. So make sure you use a big frying pan, otherwise you're going to struggle. And what I do is I just give it a good old stir for a while, and then I'll start adding in the basil and the parsley and my salt and my black pepper as well. But like I say, just give it a good stir, and after about 5 minutes of that going, I'm going to start putting in the onion as well and fry that with it. Now the cauliflower's been going for about 5 minutes, and now I'm going to add in my garlic as well. So got the figs on there, then drop them in. So I'm adding in the garlic. More. Okay, and give it another good stir. All mixes in properly. And then the next step is I am going to put in the parsley. I'm putting in quite a bit. I like the flavour of parsley, and then of course basil as well. This gives it such a nice flavour. And then your salt. The last bit of sea salt is going to go in this one. Running out. There you go, it's only a few bits that was in there still. Okay, and then black pepper. Now that's had a good seasoning, and then all you do is you just keep on turning it over, keep on stirring it, and start breaking it with a spoon or whatever you use. Once the cauliflower starts softening up, start breaking it into smaller pieces. You don't want to mash it, but you just want it to come down into small bite-sized pieces. Now I've chopped up my red onion, and I've thrown it in with the rest of the cauliflower, so it's frying. I don't want the onion to go too soft, so I don't want to fry it till it's brown or anything like that. The cauliflower is definitely softening up quite a lot. I can now quite easily break it with a wooden spoon, so it's getting there. And I'm just every now and again, just stirring it around, chopping it up a little bit, and just keeping it going. What I'm going to do in a minute or so, I'm going to add in my grated cheese. Well, not grated cheese, I will be grating cheese into it, which will be lovely as well. Gives it that cheesy flavour. And then we're nearly there. We're getting to the end stage where we're going to put this in the oven. So I'll tell you when you should preheat your oven and to what degrees as well. Next step, so the onions have been going for about 4 minutes with the cauliflower. And now I want you to grate your cheese in there. Again, you can see the amounts that you have to do on the recipe list that you've got. Grate it in. And then you're going to give this a good old stir. Make sure the cheese melts into it all. And once that's done, I want you to get the mushrooms. Okay? There you go. So I've got my mushrooms. There you go, the small mushrooms. Just going to drop them in whole. I'm not actually going to chop them up. Just drop them in there. And again, this is such a filling dish. It's really, really nice. Adding a few more. Like I said, on the recipes you'll see how many you should be adding in to have the exact amounts. So now that that's in, let's give it a good old stir again. Mix everything up. And the cauliflower is getting quite soft now. So don't stir it too much, because otherwise you'll end up mashing it quite a lot, and you don't want a mashed cauliflower mix. You want a really nice, you still want to kind of taste the crunch in it, otherwise it will just be like pure mash that you've got. So I'm just kind of leaving that there on the side now. I'm pushing the mushrooms in so that they will soften up as well, and this will go into the oven. So now I want you to preheat your oven to, I do mine on quite a high heat, just to get it going. Mine is gas mark 8, and I reckon that'll be about over 200 degrees anyway, about 230, 240 degrees. So get it up nice and high and just let it go. Now my dish is finished. I've let it sit there for another 4 minutes or so, so the mushrooms kind of softened up a little bit, not much. But now I'm going to scoop it into my dish, and I'll show you. This is the one that I'm going to put in the oven, and it's nice and big. Again, make sure you use something that can actually go into the oven. So I'm going to scoop all of my ingredients from my frying pan into this dish. So the cauliflower is very, very soft at the moment, but it's still in bite sizes. It hasn't mashed up too much, so don't go squeezing it and everything when you put it in the dish. Just kind of move it around, and if there's large bits, break it up with your spoon or whatever you're using, or cut it with a knife if you have to. And just spread it all out in your dish. So that's all done. I've got it all nice and even. Mushrooms are in there. And now the other thing that I want you to do is I want you to take your double cream that you're going to use and just run it all across the dish. I don't want you to use loads. You just want to kind of cover most of it with a bit of cream, but you don't want to fill the cream above the cauliflower. So what I mean by covering is you're just kind of running the cream through it all, so it's kind of everywhere in there. And now the next bit I'm going to do is I'm going to grate the cheese. So quite a lot of cheese into this dish as well. Get it everywhere, spread it out, because you want that nice cheesy flavor in it. This will brown it up as well, and this will kind of give you that bake that you want. So everywhere, get it in there. Oh, just broke off a massive lump of cheese in there. Take that back out. Okay, so I've got quite a lot in there, and now I'm going to use the figs that I slice in half, and I just gently squeeze it into the dish. Okay, don't push it all the way down, just gently squeeze it in so you still have the fig sticking out to the top, and this will soften up in the oven as well. Just cut them all and spread them out so that with every other scoop that you take, you get a bit of fig on there as well. I love figs, it's really, really nice. It's actually not that high in carbohydrates, which is quite nice as well. So you don't have to worry about getting in too much sugar. Now, you always hear me talking about the fruit. It's not that I condemn fruit, it's just fruit has a lot of sugar in it. So if you're somebody that can burn sugar quite easily, good sugar like that, natural sugar, then it's not too much of a problem. Otherwise, you're still taking sugar, you're still gaining loads and loads of body fat, and then you don't know why you're not losing it. Okay, next one, the leek. Cut off the end. Just going to chop this up, and I'm only going to use one, I'm not going to use a lot of them. I'll chop them up all the way. If you hear me scream, it's my finger. The finger goes straight into the dish. Okay, so the leek's done, and all I'm going to do now is I'm just going to sprinkle it all across this dish. And again, I don't want tons of it. I like leek, but I don't want loads and loads and loads of it in there. So just spreading it out. And there you go. And then the last bit I'm going to do just a little bit more cheese over the top. Again, on the recipes you will see how much cheese you should be putting in. This is for a large number of people, but I know roughly what I should be putting in and what I shouldn't. Okay, so that's all across the dish. Break up the last bits. And this should come out very, very nice. Now I'm going to place it in the oven. Make sure you don't burn yourself, please. Okay, so there you go. Don't know if you can see there, but yeah, nice big old dish. Nice vegetarian dish. Put it in and slide it in. There you go. And if I say the word dish one more time, please tell me off. It's the problem with not being English. You repeat yourself quite a few times. So there you go. Anyway, that's in the oven. I'm going to leave it in there for about 25 to 30 minutes. It will all melt and it will go a little bit brown. If it's not brown, I'm going to let it go for a little bit longer. And then I will remove it from the oven. And again, this is for the next day. This is for people coming over. And yeah, there's loads of food. And I will also tell you in a separate video how much this all cost me. And it didn't even cost that much. And I can feed a lot of people off this one. So catch you soon. Now it's been 25 minutes and I've taken my dish out of the oven. Turn it all off. Be careful. This thing is super hot. So don't burn yourself. Always use your oven gloves. I'm going to try and show you this. It's a very, very nice looking dish as well. Especially because it's got the figs on top. Again, it's a bit bright here under the light so you can't really see. But yeah, it looks very, very nice. It's nice and brown at the top. Like I say, it's been in there for 25 minutes, so it goes a little bit brown, and that's exactly what you want. But it's such a tasty, tasty meal. Make sure when you scoop it up, at least you get one fig on there. That kind of sweet and the saltiness go together really, really well. So yeah, so it's a lovely dish. It's an easy dish to make as well. These things aren't expensive, and that's the beauty of the plan. I'm trying to give you food that's not ridiculously over the top expensive. Most people complain about it, they say they can't eat like that, so I made sure from the start that we didn't do meals like that, and that's why this goes down well, a real treat with the family as well. And the kids, you can try and serve these things up for your children as well. Like I say, there's cheese in it, so normally kids do quite like cheese, and it's a very nutritious meal. That's the difference. The better the nutrition, the better all of us will function, and it starts from a young age. So try and get your kids to eat these type of foods. Good thing that will go in there if you don't want to make a vegetarian is small bits of bacon as well. That will be very, very tasty in there. So you can chop off small pieces of bacon whilst you're frying it, of course, and add it into it. And that should make it very, very nice. So there you go. Really nice, easy dish, and I hope you enjoyed that one. Have a good time eating healthy and keep on eating healthy. That's the most important thing. Speak to you later. Bye.